He's wearing a wire for us tonight. He's mic'd up. Cardinals lineup leading off. The switch hitting shortstop Rafael Furcal, John Jay in center, Albert Pujols, Matt Holliday, and Lance Berkman. A tough threesome in the middle of that order. Schumacher, Molina the catcher, Descalso starts at third base, and Chris Carpenter will pitch in bat ninth. Carpenter signing a new 2-year, $21 million deal today with the Cardinals. More on that a little later on.
Jeff Carson's making his 25th start of the year. He's ready to go. We'll talk about him as we go along.
First pitch of the ball game, a slap hit attempt by Furcal. It's 0-1.
So it's been well documented. Chris Carpenter going for the Cardinals. Jeff Carson has missed 2 starts. So how will he be tonight? So far so good. First pitch in for a strike and a foul ball. And the thing is, I was talking to Stan Savran about this. He's not a September call-up. Jeff has been around. He's pitched all year. He's done a lot of pitching in the major league. So I don't think he's going to be anxious about this. I just wonder how it's going to be for the curveball, because that's kind of a delicate release, where to release it, how to release it. And when you've been away for a couple starts, might be a little issue finding that. Other than that, this guy is so rock solid emotionally and mentally, I don't think it's going to be a big issue. Maybe a pitch count. I don't know, perhaps after missing a couple starts, but I've got no problem with Jeff Carson's out on the mound anytime.
0-2 pitch to Furcal. Popped him up, and Pedro Ciriaco making the start at short. Records the first out of the ball game. And Pedro Ciriaco had the biggest hit of his major league career last night. A 2-out, 2-strike, 2-run double in the bottom of the 8th inning.
A little wrist shot down the right field line, score a couple of runs, and good that it scored a couple, because the Cardinals tried to come back in the 9th, and the Pirates wound up winning it by 1.
Yeah, how big was that extra run? Brian Ludwig, who was intentionally walked, came around to score the 6th run of the game last night, proved to be the game winner. John Jay, big leg kick for Jay, and he really loads the bat back when he gets going. He will take a strike, a breaking ball, 1-1.
I had a teammate that used to do that, and they threw him a changeup, and he was up on that one leg too long and fell back, and the catcher caught him. People were paying good money to watch that.
1-2. Karsten's ahead of John Jay.
It's a timing mechanism, but if they pull a string on it, you're up on that 1 foot quite a long time. But he's hitting 310 or 3.9.
Karstens can do that. He'll pull the string. He'll vary his speeds quite a bit throughout his outing. 1-2 pitch, comebacker. Jeff made sure he had the ball in his glove.
Side saddle action.
2 men out now for the Cardinals in the top half of the 1st inning.
Now Jeff follows through like most right-handers toward first base a little bit, so he's got to kind of, okay, we're going to reverse that, take it side saddle, and after that it's pretty easy.
The ever dangerous Albert Pujols now will bat with 2 outs and nobody on. 298 on the season, a National League leading 35 home runs. Pujols just under that magic 300 number average wise, trying to get back there and have another 300+ season. Looking for 330 home runs and 100 runs batted in. That's the line for Pujols that he is accustomed to. 3 out of 11 against Karstens in his career. Hammers this one up in the air to deep left center field. Going back, Ludwig. Ballpark's going to hold it. Ryan Ludwig makes the catch. And a 1-2-3. Top of the 1st. Pirates coming to the plate.
Playing short. At second base, we have Neil. I just moved out of my parents' house. Walker. Center field, we have Andrew, the new generation McCutcheon. At first base, Derek. I stand tall and carry a big stick. Lee. Catching tonight is Ryan, rougher than the Marlboro Man, Dolman. Right field, Garrett. Going bushes tonight, Jones. And left field, Ryan, all out Ludwig. Third base, Josh the Vacuum Harrison. And tonight's pitcher is Jeff Karstens, getting it done in BP yesterday. Let's go Bucks.
Bones having some fun with the Toyota lineups, and talking about BP, Jeff Karstens hit his first batting practice home run of the season yesterday.
No wonder he's carrying his bat down the runway.
Chris Carpenter getting the start tonight, 9-9, and with a healthier wallet after today. Facing Pedro Ciriaco gets the lead off this ball game for the Pirates.
Tough customer on the Pittsburgh Pirates. 19 starts for Chris Carpenter, 12-3 career-wise against the Bucks.
Siriaco rips this one foul. PNC achievement is Pedro Siriaco for the Achiever in You this season. 6 out of 19, 316 average, 2 doubles, a triple, 6 runs batted in, had that game-winning double in the 8th inning last night. Big hit down the right field line.
Not sometimes how many you get, it's when you get them. You got the big one. You got another one right
for
there.
This one, he's got a base hit to lead things off.
Pretty much the way he swung the bat last night, just kind of a soft serve to left center. Last night it was a little soft serve between Albert Pujols and first base. No room for pictures on the scorecard as you take a look at the strike zone presented by Range Resources. As long as you get it done, it doesn't have to be pretty.
He really went out after that pitch. It was way off the plate.
Out in front a little bit, but was able to stay back just long enough to serve it out there.
Siriaco can also run. That's another club he has in his golf bag. Pitch to Walker. And Neal takes outside for ball 1.
Well, we're talking about all the auditions and candidates for various positions, including shortstop. If Pedro Siriaco can hit, and we don't know that, it's so very, very early, that really increases his stock because of the speed. Got a good glove.
1-0 to Walker in the pitch. Inside. Our day automotive key matchup of the day. Career versus Carpenter. Walker is 6 out of 16 with a pair of long balls and hitting .381 over his last 6 games with 3 doubles. Day automotive. We're going to make your day. 2-0 to Walker. Siriaco at first. Nobody out. And he hits this one up in the air to left field. Matt Holliday drifting underneath it. 1 out, and back to first goes Siriaco. We talked about Carpenter's deal, 2 years, $21 million. He had a club option, or the club had an option on him for next year at $15 million. So essentially, the Cardinals saved themselves about $4.5 million because the $21 million will be split evenly over the next 2 years. He's 36 years of age, so you've got to consider that this could be his final contract as a player.
Yeah, he's not a kid. A 36-year-old right-hander has had a history of some arm issues, but he doesn't pitch right now. That's a problem. Probably got the most deceptive 9-9 record in all of Major League Baseball, coming off a shutout of the Milwaukee Brewers last time out. Very strong performance for Chris in a series that they needed strong performances and got them.
And one of the interesting things I thought Chris said was that he's very pleased to be with the organization for another 2 years. But
I guess he would be.
The understatement of the day. But he also mentioned something about beyond his playing days being with the organization, perhaps, and maybe there was discussion of that with this contract. Carpenter, 0-1 to McCutchen. Siriaco off at first. And now it is 1 ball and 1 strike.
And maybe they're going to pay him $1 million a year for the next 40 years.
Do you take that deal?
I would. Well, for 40 years.
40 years.
I don't even buy bananas that aren't ripe or continuing novels.
Siriaco gets back.
Carpenter, he's big enough out there on the mound. 6'6", 230, his 15th major league season. 142 wins, 92 losses. Great winning percentage.
Throw to first base, diving back safely that time. Pujols thought he got him, and he questioned first base umpire Joe West.
Let's slow it down with the AGH cam. And leave that one to the umpires.
A 1-1 count to McCutchen. Pitch out, nothing doing. 2-1. One of the neat things we have for you tonight, an all-access night, is you get to listen to a guy we spend a lot of time with, and that is Jeff Mitchell. He is our director, and you can listen to him call the game at rootsports.com. There goes Siriaco. Throw down by Molina. Is in plenty of time to get it. So Siriaco erased from the bases.
Here's the throw by Molina. And the tag.
Pretty close. I think he got his hand in, but it's bang bang. McCutcheon's 3-1 pitch. 3-2 pitch, beg your pardon. He strikes out. And Carpenter gets out of the inning.
We're looking for new followers on Twitter. So this is your chance. The 11,000th follower will have the opportunity to get a ball signed by Kutch. We're looking for you. Sign on right now. I will be following throughout the night, adding different questions, and of course probably checking on you, Steve Blass and Tim Neverett throughout the night. We're looking for the 61st new follower on Twitter at Root Sports Pit. That's 1T at the end. Get on and get an autographed signed ball by number 22.
Now that's some incentive.
That's great.
Huh?
I'm a real follower.
You are
of anything.
You follow anything, won't you? That's good incentive. An autographed ball from the all-star center fielder. Ground ball to the vacuum. And Harrison throws out Matt Holliday.
Nice play. A little in-between hop for Josh to handle. And he handled it. Take a look at the replay. Strike zone from Range Resources and taking it off to the side. And that play looked a little easier than it really was.
Jay Hay mic'd up for us tonight. Check in with him throughout the game. Here is Lance Berkman, the switch hitter. Big Puma hitting 290. And that pitch a ball, 1-0. One thing Clint Hurdle did mention today prior to the game about Jeff Karstens, because he's been on the side for a couple of weeks, base hit by Berkman, is that he probably wouldn't go to 100 pitches. They're going to keep an eye. No firm pitch count, but they don't know if he's 100% stretched out like he was before he sat down.
Take a look at the location here, out over the plate, and Mr. Schumacher turns it back around.
He had it right the first time.
Berkman?
You were fooled by the socks. I know.
Right where it says base hit on my scorecard. Yeah.
Yeah, Berkman's got the.
You're not getting all access to my scorecard.
The high Cardinal socks tonight. He's changing it up. So is Schumacher as he goes with the low pants. One out. Berkman is the runner at first, and Karstens the stretch. Now the pitch to Schumacher. Fastball in tight, 1-0. Well, if you skip Schumacher, you got to like to play baseball, because when you come to the ballpark, you might know where you're going to start the game, but you might not know where you're going to finish.
All over the place last night.
Tony La Russa has him playing sometimes 2 and 3 different positions during the course of a game. 2-0. He'll start him at second base. Tony will move him around to the outfield. He played center field and right field last night. With the expanded rosters, both managers having the luxury of adding a pinch runner here, pinch runner there. I know the Pirates had 6 new players in the ball game in the 9th inning.
And I wonder if people really have an appreciation for what you just saw on the screen. 34th season as a manager, Tony La Russa. I mean, that's incredible. You think of 3.5 decades managing Major League Baseball.
Schumacher walks. Now the Cardinals with runners at first and second and 1 out for the catcher Yadier Molina. Molina went hitless in 3 trips last night. Here's tonight's DQ fan poll question of the game. And on this all access night, we'd like to know, given all access to watch a Pirates game here at PNC Park, where would you choose to view the game from? 1, Pirate dugout. 2, Pirates clubhouse. On the field or as a ball person in the Root Sports TV booth with us, or in the Root Sports truck with Jeff Mitchell and crew.
That's a no-brainer.
Yeah. Everyone who participates has a chance to win a DQ cake that's so good it's ridiculous. Message and data rates may apply. Text your answer to 412-412. We'll check the results throughout the course of the night.
Somebody have a chance to do that? Is there a winner in this thing? Or does somebody win something where they can sit in the dugout or the booth or the truck?
Well, that's when we have the auction night.
Okay. Yeah, that's the no-brainer. That's not even close. If you want to be around a major league ball game, you want to be in the dugout.
Molina hits this one to left field pretty deep. Ludwig on the run, and he won't get it. It bounces over the wall for a double. Berkman will come around, and going back to third base will be Schumacher, and the Cardinals on the board. It's 1-0 on the double by Yadier Molina.
And that's just business as usual against the Pirates for Molina, and that's in the wheelhouse. There's a lot of carry. There's a pretty significant breeze blowing and helping everything hit to left field, and it's not blowing as hard as it was. It was really smoking out in that direction, but still it's going to give you a lot of carry if you hit the ball in the air in that direction.
Third baseman Daniel Descalso standing in. 1 out and 2 on for St. Louis. A 1-0 Cardinal lead in the top of the second. .263 hitter is Descalso. Splitting time at third base with David Freese. Freese a right-handed hitter. And Descalso lefty starting tonight against the right-hander Karstens. Falls behind, 2 balls and no strikes.
Speaking of falling behind, you don't want to fall behind too much to Chris Carpenter. He's too good.
And now they will walk Descalso intentionally to get to Carpenter. They'll load the bases, put the forced play back on, and hope that Carpenter can hit into 2 perhaps.
Here's the scenario now. Jeff Karstens, we'll take a look at the contest there. Jeff Karstens has got to be aware that Carpenter is a good bunter. There's a lot of options now for Tony La Russa. Put the ball down. Karstens is not an overpowering type of a guy, so it's easier to bunt against a guy who's not a flamethrower. So that option exists. On the other hand, Carpenter swings the bat pretty well.
Carpenter has 2 home runs in his career, one of them a grand slam, and now he's got some RBIs. Schumacher will come in. Molina right behind him. 3-0 St. Louis. Carpenter didn't waste any time. First pitch he saw, he drilled into the outfield. And now Carpenter with his 2nd and 3rd runs batted in of the season.
Right there in the middle of the strike zone.
The walk to Schumacher comes back to hurt. Karstens now has given up 3 in the 2nd inning. Still 1 out.
Good swing, under control. I mean, this guy's been around 15 years. A ball right down the middle of the plate with not a lot on it is going to get hit by a lot of players, including some pitchers.
Ray Searage, Ryan Domet, Derek Lee listening in. Carpenter doubled his RBI total with 1 swing. Maybe the better way to phrase that is he hit twice as many RBIs with 1 swing than he's had all season. 2 with 1 swing. He had 1 coming in. If that makes any sense.
Another way to phrase it, Cardinals are up 3-0.
That's another way. Runners at the corners and 1 out. Back to the top of the order. Rafael Furcal. He popped out to Pedro Siriaco at shortstop in the 1st inning, last inning. He is 0 for 1.
Keep an eye on him too, as Josh Harrison in almost on the grass. You never know what Tony's going to do.
Two balls and no strikes. Descalzo is the runner at third base, and over at first, Chris Carpenter. Little number swinging bunt out in front of the plate. Domit gave Descalzo a look, and the throw down gets him at first. Carpenter safe at second and third, and 2 out.
Well, and almost a tough situation for Derek Lee, and that ball tailing in toward the runner as Ryan Domit came out to get it out in front. He's got to get the best angle he can. Vergal runs very well, and they wind up getting the out at first base. That's a play every once in a while from any catcher that can go down the right field line. You see Derek getting the ball and then getting out of dodge, get that hand out of there. I've seen hyperextended elbows and all kind of problems for a first baseman on that play.
John Jay, the hitter, swings and hits it down to Derek Lee. And Lee tosses to Karstens, and that's it. 3 in for the Cardinals, and they lead the Pirates after an inning and a half. Jeff had a very good first. The second inning, Cardinals got to him a little bit.
Well, yeah, they barreled 5 balls up there, and his command got a little shaky on him. So hopefully he can right himself and get back in line. As you said, the first inning was Chris. The ball was down. He's hitting some spots, and it was exactly the opposite the second inning.
Clint, good win last night. Good feel-good win. How much of a challenge is it in September for you to separate the effort to win and auditions?
Well, you've got to combine the two. I mean, we want to make every effort to win every game we play. We want to finish the season strong. We want to put a number up on the board in the win column that's got some significance and is a big step forward for us. At the same time, you want to take some looks at some people and some of the personnel. So just try and be smart with it. Don't outthink it. Don't overanalyze it. Get some guys some reps out there to take a good look at it.
Clint, thanks. Best of luck the rest of the way.
You're welcome.
Derek Lee with a hit that probably makes the manager smile a little bit. Leadoff man aboard. As the cleanup hitter gets the leadoff single. Now Ryan Domit will stand in. And as much as Pedro Siriaco had a big hit last night to win it, don't forget Domit's double that scored the pinch runner Chase Darno, who ran for Derek Lee and came around to score the game tying run at 4. So Domit's hit loomed extremely large in the 8th inning. Followed up by Siriaco's double. That was the key to the offensive outburst last night in the 8th. 1-0 pitch. High 2-0.
By the way, Ryan Domit sporting a brand new tattoo right in the middle of his chest. It says Rawlings on it.
Yeah.
From that ball that he got crossed up on. Looking for a curve. Got a 94-mile-an-hour fastball right at the chest protector. Yeah, they protect you, but they don't protect you a lot. They're built kind of thin so you can have some mobility. He took a direct shot. He's still wearing that Rawlings emblem from the ball.
3-0 now to Domit.
I told you about Chris Carpenter coming off a shutout against the Milwaukee Brewers last time out. Previous to that, the start before that, he got touched up by the Cincinnati Reds. 6 earned runs in 6 innings. So it's been very much an up and down year for Chris. Like that little boy in the story. When he's good, he's very, very good. And when he's bad, he has struggled. But overall, he's still a very, very highly regarded, one of the best right-handers in the league.
Over his last 5 games, 32 strikeouts and 7 walks. Shallow left center field. And Holiday will handle it for the out. 1 gone.
A little more on Carpenter. 2005, 21-5, Cy Young Award winner. He's been on 3 All-Star games. I mean, he's just been real good for a long time. I told you, drafted by Toronto back in 1993, came to the Cardinals after the 2002 season, and he's written himself quite a story since then.
He has driven in 2 of the 3 Cardinal runs here tonight, too. Garrett Jones getting a start in right field. Hit the ball well last night and hits it well here as he bangs one out to Lance Berkman. And the Pirates with 2 men on and 1 out. And that'll bring the tying run to the plate and former Cardinal Ryan Ludwig.
Turns this pitch around, finds the hole between first and second. The Pirates are in business. It'd be nice to just edge into that 3-0 Cardinal lead. Especially the first chance you get after they put the 3 spot up.
Ludwig has reached base safely in 14 straight starts with the Pirates. Last night he ended up being intentionally walked in the bottom of the 8th inning, came around to score what proved to be the game-winning run. 2 on, 1 out. Ludwig fouls it off Molina, and that had to hurt a little.
So if you need to go to the restroom or go to the refrigerator, go ahead and take your time, because they're going to give Mr. Molina a few seconds or a few moments or a few minutes to collect himself. We talk about catcher's gear protecting. We know how thin the chest protector is, and the shin guards, yep, you still feel that shot through the protection. There's not a lot of bulk in the protective gear for the catchers anymore. There used to be.
That's a base hit. Holding at third will be Lee, and the bases are full of Bucks with 1 out.
Strong throw from Matt Holliday. Pirates a lot of action. A hanging curveball that stays up in that hitting zone. Here's 2 things here. You need to put the ball in play. You need to stay out of the double play. You got good speed from Josh Harrison. Even if you hit a ground ball, hustle down to first base, save that double play. Don't let it happen, and you're on the board. You give him that second out. Don't give him the third and leave all these runners scattered around the base paths.
Harrison, a .333 hitter with runners on base, 25 out of 75. Bases full, 1 out. Strike 1. Eric Lee at third base, Garrett Jones at second, and Ryan Ludwig at first. All singles. 3 base hits this inning against Chris Carpenter. No runs across yet.
Yeah, and Carpenter's been around a long time. He's not a blazing fastball guy, but he knows the times he needs a strikeout. And if he gets it here, then he faces the pitcher. He knows he can get out of this.
To the right side, Pujols drops it, and everybody's safe.
Albert could never get a handle on it. He could never find the handle on that ball. And I think part of the reason he was looking all around, see where his best chance for an out, whether to go to second, home, or back to first base. Here's the chop. Wide to first base, Albert there, and it gets out of his hand.
Pujols just can't hang on right here, and Chris Carpenter at first base. Like he slipped off the back of the bag momentarily. Didn't look too pleased about it. So with 1 out, that'll bring up Jeff Karstens in the tying run and scoring position. Karstens had good BP yesterday. We learned from a reliable source, so maybe he carries that into the game here today.
Take a look at Chris Carpenter here, going over to cover first base. Sees Albert having a problem with it. Stumbles around and has to go back to the mound, and has to go back to the mound with just 1 out in his pocket.
This one will stay foul.
I've had a little English on it, trying to get back into fair territory.
Nothing and 2 to Jeff Karstens. 1 man out. And the base is full. 3 hits and an error this inning. Cardinals had won 5 in a row before yesterday's game. Pirates breaking that streak. And again, we talked about it in our open tonight. Bucks' role now is that of spoiler. Cardinals have been making a bit of a run to get back in the race, and are still in it very much as far as the wild card is concerned. 4.5 behind Atlanta for the National League wild card, and 6.5 behind Milwaukee for the division.
And spoiler, yeah, to a degree, but you still want to just play the game. I don't think you're thinking about spoiler so much once the anthem is played. Still going out trying to win a major league ball game as Jeff stays alive.
In the Central, See where the Cardinals check in. Also in the wild card. Giants 2 back of the Cardinals now in the wild card. Dodgers 11 out. The Pirates now 4 games behind Cincinnati with 3 to play head to head with the Reds. Karstens takes outside.
Wow.
That'll even up the count.
Chris Carpenter became a statue for just a half a second with that call. Wanting it. And, according to Chad Fairchild, home plate umpire, just a little outside.
Down the right field line, foul. It would be nice if Jeff can return the favor for what Carpenter did to him last inning with a 2-run single.
Just shorten up, try to put the ball in play. This guy's not going to throw it 97, 98 miles an hour and get into that protective 2-strike stance. Make contact, see what happens.
2-2 pitch. Wide to first. Jeff hanging in.
Carpenter doesn't walk too many people. He's started 30 games, 50 walks with very good control. Doesn't give up the long ball, just 14 home runs and 30 starts. Starting to flesh out that picture of why he gets a lot of money to throw a baseball.
Well, he strikes out Karstens. 2 men out and back to the top of the order, and Pedro Siriaco.
They'll shorten up in the Cardinal outfield, knowing that Pedro does not have much power. Right now, the 3 outfielders for the Cardinals a little deeper than I would expect. But that could change.
Siriaco 2 for his last 2. Going back to last night late. Falls behind 0-1 to Carpenter. Garrett Jones down at third right now. Ryan Ludwig, the runner at second. Josh Harrison at first. He reached on the error by Albert Pujols. Siriaco missing the other way. Foul.
Seems to have pretty much the same type of contact all the time. Doesn't really drive the ball that we have seen yet.
An issue with that bat, so he wants another. Now, part of the speed up rules is you have to have 2 of them ready, and they want the bat boy to get you the bat, not to have you go back down in the dugout and custom pick one out of the bat rack.
Now, this is another reason why they've got to get rid of the designated hitter. This is all part of the strategy. Now, Carpenter knew that if he got Harrison, he'd have a good chance to get Karstens. They didn't get Harrison. That kind of opens up. So that gives you a feel for the ebb and flow of strategy and what you're trying to do and what kind of script you're trying to write. You have the DH, you take all that away.
0-2 struck him out. Siriaco chased one outside. Pirates leave him loaded, but get one back. 3-1 at the end of 2. The third inning, Albert Pujols will lead off for the Cardinals. St. Louis with a 3-1 lead. Karstens will face Pujols, Holiday, and Berkman, the heart of the Cardinal order.
Jeff trying to establish himself right away inside, maybe take away that outside swing of Albert's where he has such good power to the opposite field. Not a bad start, but now he falls behind 2-0, and the pendulum swings back to Albert.
Pujols flying to left his first time up. And a 2-0. Now it's 3 balls and no strikes. You know, we talked to Clint about walking Pujols, and back in the day when the Rockies team he managed in the National League West would play the Giants a lot, he ended up walking Barry Bonds. And I thought he had a neat quote today. He said, it's kind of like the kid playing with matches. If you do it long enough, you're eventually going to get burned if you walk the guy, but he's not opposed to it. High fly ball deep and foul.
That would have had enough just inside that corner, but got out in front of it. You talk to any pitcher worth his salt, they will tell you, I don't want to walk this guy. I want to find out if I'm good enough to get him out. But there are certain situations where you're going to do it because the ball game is more important than figuring how good you are.
Siriaco throws out Pujols, and there is one away in the third. You can follow the Pirates with the MLB.com @BAT11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text @BAT to 31826 or visit Pirates.com for details. Matt Holliday grounded out to Josh Harrison at second base. Hit a shot down there. Harrison handled it pretty well. Skipped right to Walker. 2 gone.
The ball was hit so hard I didn't know if it skipped or it got there in a line drive.
Well, it flew right off the side of the mound. Right at Neal. Walker's got quite a streak going defensively. Both he and Ronnie Cedeno in the month of May did not make an error. And Neal starts tonight with a 42-game errorless streak. Berkman pops it up.
There you go, Jeff.
Walker out, backpedaling. He wants it. He is called off by Jones. And a quick inning for Jeff Karstens. It took him 8 pitches to get through the heart of the Cardinal order. Walker leads off, and Andrew McCutchen and Derek Lee 2, 3, and 4 in the Pirates order. Big crew on hand tonight. Dan Potash and Lacey Collins with Steve Blass. I'm Tim Never. Got Jeff Mitchell in the truck tonight. He is the first assistant to the King of the Gypsies in the Gypsy trailer. I wonder how that's doing on the text poll, by the way. The folks were asked if they like to sit different places, and the Gypsy trailer was trailing in the polling. Check in on our DQ text poll question in just a little bit. You wouldn't want to sit down there during a game, would you?
Those guys don't even want to be there. Not true. That's an interesting
of course
place. Yeah.
Walker down on strikes. Goes down looking. Well, today on an All Access night, it is time to mic up Josh Harrison. Let's listen.
I'll take a little blooper right here.
Don't stop it until you score.
I won't stop till I get to the dugout. I was ready. St. Louis, he hit me like 4.
McCutchen takes a strike from Carpenter. So he was talking about Albert Pujols, who hit 4 ground balls to him in St. Louis. And when Pujols hits one that way, it's usually coming at you at a great rate of speed.
He doesn't hit too many of them easy, but he is not a happy man right now. Good hitters also want to talk to you about their fielding. He's very proud of his fielding. In fact, the ball that Ryan Doman hit last night, he'll tell you he could have got some leather around that. A couple of gold gloves in his resume. To me, he's the best in the league, hands down. Best baseball player in the National League. Maybe in the majors. We don't see the American League guys that much. You go around Major League management and franchises and say, all right, you got one player to build a team around. Think you might get some votes?
I would say, yeah. Well, ask Clint today about where he ranks in terms of hitters that he has seen. McCutchen takes the ball, 2-2. And he said he ranks among the top 5 hitters in his lifetime. The guys that Clint has seen play during his lifetime. He said, and he started scribbling down. I followed up with him afterward, and he started scribbling down some names. And Pujols was at the top of the list, and his old teammate George Brett was next. He said Wade Boggs.
Yep.
Boggs was probably one of the best 2-strike hitters. Rod Carew wasn't too bad. Tony Gwynn, and then he added Barry Bonds in there. He said, well, there's got to be a 5A, so Barry Bonds, as far as the best hitters.
I tell you, Barry Bonds had as much plate discipline with balls and strikes as anybody I've seen in a while.
Up in the air to center field, and John Jay will track it down. 2 out for the Pirates. Let's check out tonight's Barrel Automotive league leaders. Most RBIs in the National League in the last 10 days. Jason Bay of the Mets with 12. Alfonso Soriano of the Cubs with 10. And here is Derek Lee with 9. Barrel Automotive, definitely worth the click. Lee with a base hit and a run scored tonight. Hammers this one. Deep right center field. Way back it goes. Caught! Derek Lee, a home run, makes it 3-2.
That's the way you do it. Send it. Right center field, opposite field power. Does Derek Lee still have something in the tank? Yeah. Yep. Just showed you some of that right there.
10 RBIs in the last 10 days.
Number 15 given up by Chris Carpenter, and this Pittsburgh Pirates right back in it.
That's the 3rd home run in his career he has hit off of Carpenter. Ryan Domet will take strike 1. You know, that area out there in right center between the ketchup bottle and Trib Total Media, Derek Lee seems to like putting baseballs in that area. He's done a nice job with that.
That's a good direction, because even if you don't get it over the fence, you're going to find a gap. Right center field.
So the veteran D. Lee, who among active first basemen has started in the most games, played in the most games at first base. Todd Helton of the Rockies up over 2,000, and way up over 1,800 is Derek Lee. He is second on that list among active players playing at the position. 2-1 to Domet from Chris Carpenter. It's now a 1-run game.
A couple of 36-year-olds going at it there with Lee against Carpenter.
Age is just a number to some people.
So is home run distance. If it gets over the fence, it's a home run.
You got an estimate for that one?
I'm going to give you about. Speaking of that gap,
there it is, and Berkman's going to watch it roll to the wall, and running hard is Domet. And Domet is not going to stop. He's around second, heading for third, and Ryan Domet is in with a triple.
Well, Ryan won't get many, but they missed the initial cutoff man, and that cost him any chance to get the play at third base. First of all, he catches the gap, factor number 1. Factor number 2, Lance Berkman is not going to get to that ball. That's just not going to happen. He doesn't play it that way. Factor number 3, over the head of the first cutoff man. Easy triple for Ryan Domet.
That is just his 5th career triple, his first this year.
Here's where he makes his decision, that second look. Slides, really doesn't have to, but it always looks good going in on a triple. That good clean slide.
Domet had one last year, and he hadn't had a triple prior to that since 2007 when he had 2. His first one came in 2005 in his rookie season. He doesn't hit a lot of 3-baggers, so write down the date and time. Remember this one.
Yep. All the factors came into play, especially missing that initial cutoff man.
That puts the tying run 90 feet away. And the guy who's been hitting the ball well, Garrett Jones, rips one to right field, hanging up for Berkman.
Wow. Tattooed it.
And the tying run left at third base, but the Bucks get one back on the home run by Derek Lee. Derek Lee with his 5th home run since joining the Pirates. Gets him a run closer. It is 3-2. Lee had 12 homers in the American League with the Baltimore Orioles this year, and now 5 with the Pirates. Tonight's trivia question brought to you by AT&T Mobility. Last night, the Pirates recorded their 34th comeback win of 2010. When was the last time they had more than 34 in a season? Think about that for a moment.
1960.
You're going to say 1960 right off the top of your head?
Yep.
You know that for a fact, or
Nope.
are you guessing?
Just the year I graduated from high school.
Oh, okay. Well, for just throwing out dates, I'll give you one here in a second.
Okay, what's your guess?
Schumacher takes outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. How about 1979?
Okay.
Just for fun.
Both of them championship years.
It's 34 wins added to whatever else they did. So comebacker to Karstens. And Schumacher is out.
Jeff getting on a little roll after the 3 spot in the 2nd inning. Last 2 outs. Kept the ball in the infield, prevented any more damage. Now a little bit of a roll. Important outs as you look back now, because the Cardinals were really looking to add on after the Carpenter 2-run single.
Yadier Molina drove in the game's first run with a double that bounced over the left center field wall near the north side notch.
By the way, my 60 Pirates had less games to work with before the schedule was expanded from 154 to 162.
So you're trying it the hard way.
Yeah.
79 Pirates had 162 games to work with, plus postseason.
Oh, is that part of the deal too?
I hope so. 1-1. Karstens pitch to Molina for a strike called. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out, nobody on for St. Louis. They lead 3-2. Top half of the 4th inning at PNC Park. Game 2 of a 3-game set tomorrow. Quick turnaround, 12:35 game. And Molina down on strikes, and there are 2 down. Let's check in with our social media moderator in Section 101, Lacey Collins.
Tim, the Andrew McCutchen autograph ball was a hot seller in terms of finding new followers. We're already at 11,064, and Sarah E2304 is the winner. And the beauty of technology, instant communication. She already tweeted us back, awesome, thanks. I now have permission for the 12,000th follower. If we get him tonight, a Ryan Domit autograph bat. Now, I don't know if it's hit one of his 5 career triples, but we do know that Dewey signed it for you. So let's go for 12,000 tonight.
All right. So his first triple since the 29th of April against the Dodgers last year. He just hit it last inning. A Ryan Domit autograph bat for the 12,000th follower. At Root Sports Pit. Or you can like us on Facebook at Root Sports Pittsburgh Region. Make sure to put that slash in there between Root Sports and Pittsburgh Region.
So you automatically know that people like you? Is that how it works?
Descalso base hit. Well, it's just like, you don't not like it, you like it. So you say, I like it, and then you become a follower. Another way that you can be interactive with us here is text the booth. 412-412. And remember, the key word is booth, so your message will get to us. We'll answer some questions throughout the game, so text us at 412-412. Message and data rates may apply. Chris Carpenter, a bouncer to short. Siriaco handles it. Nice and easy. Throws to first and ends the Cardinal half of the 4th. Cardinals 3, Pirates 2, and the Bucks coming to the plate in the bottom of the 4th. Ryan Ludwig takes a strike from Chris Carpenter as we start the Pirates half of the 4th inning. 3-2 Cardinals.
But 3 real good at bats. Lee, Domit, and Jones in the bottom of the 3rd. They all hit the ball very hard. Problem with Garrett Jones, he hit it right at Lance Berkman in right field. That ball was blistered. That might have been hit as hard as the other 2.
The last couple of days, Jones has been hitting everything right on the nose.
Tattooed that ball.
He's had some back issues lately. Had an MRI the other day, and it was okay, clear, and came back to play last night. Swung a good bat. And already has a hit to his credit tonight and a hard hit out. 1 for 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Ludwig. To the left side. And for a call, throws him out. Josh Harrison coming to the plate. Josh is mic'd up tonight, talking about his opposition, Chris Carpenter.
His cutter's cutting more than it was in St. Louis his last start against us. That's that cutter, man. That thing look. Hey, it's that cutter right there. It looked like it's gonna be there, and it goes. I kind of knew he was gonna come at me with fastballs with the pitch behind, bases loaded. It wasn't really.
That cutter Chris Carpenter has. What that is, that's the old pure slider. All it is a fastball that you cut across when you release, so there's no spin. He's not spinning the ball, so you don't pick up a curveball, breaking ball, spin. So it's a cut fastball.
And a strike to Josh Harrison.
Entirely different than any breaking ball. So that fastball all of a sudden goes like this. It's not a big breaking curveball that has a lot of bend or spin, so you don't see the spin that immediately alerts you to the fact, okay, that's a curveball or a breaking ball. It just looks like a fastball, and now you got that much of a fastball doing that. It's a great pitch with a great location.
It's been effective for Carpenter. Been one of his better pitches over the years.
And it's evolved that a lot of the pitchers now call their breaking ball curveball. They call it a slur, but those are curveballs. The slider is a fastball that you cut. And a lot of pitchers still go to that, not as much perhaps as before the pure slider, because there's a bouncer to short. Check out this play. It's a routine 6-3 play. But the whole evolution of the cut fastball, the original slider, was the fact that it was an easier breaking ball, quote unquote breaking pitch, to learn than the curveball. Curveball is tough to master. There's a lot of things you have to do right for a curveball. Slider is just a variation of your fastball, so it's an easier pitch to pick up and master than the pure curveball.
Carpenter will face Jeff Karstens. Struck him out in the second inning. Pitch high and a little inside for ball 1. 2 outs, bottom of the 4th, nobody on. Strike 1. 1-1.
I keep begging. I talked to Jeff before each start. I don't talk to him about pitcher, and I said, guess fastball at first pitch. He said, I like to take a first pitch. I said, that puts you in the hole.
Let's take a look at our trivia answer. Our AT&T mobility question we asked about comebacks. Pirates recorded their 34th comeback win of 2010. When was the last time they had more than 34 in a season? We're both wrong. 2006, they had 35.
That wasn't a championship
wins.
Here.
No. Breaking pitches in. And we both guessed
incorrectly. But we didn't hesitate. Came out with 2 quick years. And they were good years. In fact, they were better years than 06.
Karstens down on strikes, and Carpenter gets the Pirates in order in the 4th. A little higher. We can't be the same as the sports truck, the Root Sports truck downstairs, the Gypsy trailer. We have to have a much higher percentage. Wouldn't people want to come up here and sit next to Steve Blass, a World Series champion?
No, there's more action down there. More going on, and you can't believe how much action there is going on down there.
Yeah.
It's a busy place.
Looks like a lot of false hustle down there. They're just sort of, acting it out. Base hit for call. So you want to take part in the DQ text poll? 412-412. So look, we got an extra percentage point there, Steve. 8% for us. 68% would like to watch from the dugout. Yeah, it'll be interesting in the dugout. Probably get a buffet of sunflower seeds too. You can eat all those you can handle.
And you'll learn some new phrases.
See, being a ball person is not a bad thing too. You're on the field of play. You're actually in play. You have a chance to field a ball.
You got the best seat in the house, really. And you get to be a hero. You pick up that foul ball, you give it to a kid.
And the ball girls here all play either high school or college softball.
Nice to have a little table next door, have some snacks and stuff.
Have your own little
happy hours.
A little happy hour down there. Of course, up here we're nice and safe. We're out of danger of getting any foul balls hit up here, but it's cozy, and you know,
never out of danger up here.
No,
it's a dangerous place.
It's dangerous when you're around. I know that. One on, nobody out. John Jay takes outside 2-0. I guess you get to see all this technology we have up here. Steve's big into the technology up here. See a big jump in the booth. I can certainly understand that.
Yeah, he sold it.
It's a great seat. Unobstructed view. There goes for call. And a strike is called. Domet lost the handle on the ball, and a stolen base for Rafael Furcal.
Goes up to make the transfer from glove to hand, and it just doesn't happen. Fair break, and the Cardinals don't run all that much in terms of steal, but they do a lot of hit and run, put people in motion. It looked like a mitten from ski season that Furcal has on his hand.
Look at that.
I don't understand it.
His hand is all taped up in there. That's not taped, though. You're right. It looks like an oven mitt.
You know, it could be like an offensive lineman, defensive lineman that you use to club people.
Speaking of clubbing, this one clubbed down to the right field corner off the wall. Fielded by Jones. Furcal will score easily, and in with an RBI double is John Jay. It's now 4-2 St. Louis.
This is not a good start to the fifth inning with the thumpers coming up. Pujols, Holiday, and Berkman, and I don't know if there's a more productive trio in all of baseball.
Looks like the Pirate bullpen's going to get going. John Jay with his first hit, now 1 for 3. And his 36th run batted in. Double number 22.
Nice of us to welcome those folks from the Beckley area. It's a very familiar area for people that head south to Florida to go down and watch spring training. It's exactly 3.5 hours. I've driven it 1,000 times, and that's where you first stop to get gas on your way down to spring training.
Off
yep.
huh?
Stop at Beckley. They have a travel center down there, and it's a very familiar area. And off you go into Virginia and on your way down.
Coming up, we don't want you to miss it. It's Fan Jam 2011 featuring Steve Miller Band live in concert after the Pirates take on the Reds Saturday, September 24th, 7:05 start. They'll be playing all their big hits, including the Joker, Take the Money and Run, and many more. For your tickets to Fan Jam, visit pirates.com. Big old jet airliner. That's what I take to spring training. I don't drive.
Well, you got that big contract, I guess.
No, it takes 2.5 hours to get there, and an hour later you're stopping for gas in Beckley.
See, it's all about the journey. It's about the journey, not the destination. I don't blame you.
I'm picking up my car at Pirate City and driving toward the Gulf by the time you're getting gas. One ball and one strike to Albert Pujols. Daniel McCutchen and Daniel Moscas both loosening up. Right-hander and a left-hander.
This half inning right here could swing the ball game one way or another. If Jeff can keep it together against these three thumpers, keep the ball game intact. These three guys, they can get away in a minute. They're already in business. So a challenge for Jeff Carsons, and hope that he can get on the other side of this.
Just a 2-run game at this point in time. Top of the 5th. Nobody out. 1 run is in.
And don't for a minute think that Albert's going to shorten up to try to move that runner over to third base. Albert doesn't shorten up.
He wants time.
He's a big man up at the plate there, and he also tries to take that outside part of the plate away from you. He's right up on top of the strike zone. Those elbows are not too far away from the inside corner. By the time he swings the bat, he is protecting that outer area. See where Ryan Doman goes. Away.
And a diving stop by Siriaco. His throw didn't get it. A little bit high, rushed it. And coming in underneath it was Pujols, but what a stop by Siriaco. And even with the bobble, still might have had time with a good throw to get him.
Yeah, good throw does get him. This ball is right down Broadway, and he smokes it, but Pedro does a good job of stopping it. And then the bobble maybe rushes it a little bit. Yeah, you see they got plenty of time because the ball got to the shortstop so quickly.
Scored a base hit for Pujols.
And that was because of the degree of difficulty. He hit it so hard, but that should be an out after he makes the good stop. He got plenty of time.
Yeah, good throw gets him. 2 on, nobody out for Matt Holliday. Holliday is 0 for 2. He has grounded out to third, grounded out to second.
And we documented starting last night with how many double plays these Cardinals hit into, and you'd love to get another ground ball right here. They hit into a bunch, and this would be the perfect time to get one.
They grounded into a league-leading 158 of them. Holliday grounded into one last night in the third inning. And a secret weapon makes the play. Jose Oquendo, the third base coach.
Yeah, we got the ground ball, just the wrong person. You talk about the versatility of Schumacher. Well, Jose Oquendo has played everywhere. He was active as a player for the Cardinals.
Runners lead from first and second. Jay the runner at second. Pujols at first, and the 0-2. Got him. Karstens with the strikeout of Matt Holliday.
Number 2 for Jeff couldn't have come at a better time. You still got a double play candidate with Berkman. Downstairs, chases, comes up empty. Something other than the fastball, and that's going to be it for Jeff Karstens.
Well, Karstens won't get the opportunity to face Berkman here. 68 pitches for Karstens, and he'll call it a night. Trailing by a pair of runs. Bucks go to the bullpen. Moon's a little full of itself.
You still howl at that one.
Daniel Moscas out of Clemson.
Made his major league debut April 30th. Done a good job. ERA under 3, and Friday night 3 up 3 down against the Florida Marlins. Scoreless inning of work for Daniel.
Called back to the big leagues a week ago from AAA Indianapolis. Jeff Karstens, after missing 2 starts, goes 4 1/3 tonight.
Given up 4 so far. Cardinals still in business. He is still responsible for 2 more Redbird runners.
And Moscas will face Berkman. Berkman will have to turn around and bat right-handed. 264 as a right-handed hitter. 297 as a left-handed hitter. 33 points difference on the right side. And a ground ball right to Siriaco to Walker for 1. That's 2. Moscas, 1 pitch, 2 outs. The run comes in for 2 birds. It's t-shirt courtesy of the International Union of Operating Engineers, local number 66. Pirates.com/free shirt Friday for your tickets.
The Pirates still in it because of good work by Karstens in the top of the second, leaving some runners on, and the double play thrown by Moscas. They're still in it because of those.
Siriaco, he's got a chance. And no chance for Furcal to throw him out. A base hit for Pedro Siriaco. He's 2 for 3.
On the top of the inning, the Cardinals got the leadoff man on, and they scored. Now the Pirates trying to return the favor. This is going to be tough for Furcal anyway, but after it rolls up his arm, it's done deal. AGH cam showing you all the detail.
Tying run at the plate. Neil Walker is 0 for 2. Flied to left and struck out looking. Pounds this one foul. One thing you get out of Chris Carpenter, Steve, is a lot of work. And he has thrown the 4th most innings pitched in the National League this year.
Something like the most starts by anybody in the last couple of years.
He's making his team leading 31st start. Carpenter with 210 in a 3rd innings thrown. Cliff Lee of Philadelphia 210 and 2/3. Roy Halladay on the list and Clayton Kershaw on the list. Tough play for Furcal. Safe at second base is the hustling Pedro Siriaco.
And not only puts the Pirates in business, but helps create a base hit for Neil Walker with that speed. Yeah, they're picking on Furcal right now and doing okay. This one chopped wide of Descalzo. He's out of the equation. Once he's out of the equation, the Pirates have a chance to have runners on first and second because of the speed of that man.
Well, he'll just put it on a good spot in the infield. Siriaco, good speed, puts the tying run on base. 2 on, nobody out. And now Andrew McCutchen, who's 0 for 2 and due. Kutch did not have a hit last night, although he drove in a run. Back for McCutchen. You have to go back to Friday in the 6th inning for his last hit. It was a double.
Get him to run into one here. A good spot for a 3-run shot.
1 ball and 1 strike.
Maybe we could say get the guys in the scoreboard room to play Fly Me to the Moon. Hit one down the left field. Hit it over the fence.
Might hit one to the moon.
There it is. Old Yeller.
Carpenter gets a sign from Yadier Molina. Siriaco at second and Walker at first.
Kind of hard to go out and howl at the moon tonight with a day game coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, you want
to need a little more downtime.
Save it for tomorrow. The moon will be out again.
Okay.
You can start earlier because we'll be 3 hours later.
That's right. I'll howl for a while and you still won't be starting the game. I can howl and then watch.
Yeah, we hope you stay up with us late from Los Angeles and Phoenix. 2-1. McCutchen fouls it off, evening the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Chris Carpenter out of Exeter, New Hampshire, went to high school in Manchester, New Hampshire. Now lives full-time in St. Louis.
For a long time, they had one of the great sports banquets in the United States. The newspaper in Manchester.
The Union leader. This one down into the right field corner. That is a foul ball.
I remember going to a banquet a long time ago after a World Series, and they invited everybody in, including a young man by the name of Carlton Fisk. How close was it? Not very.
Nobody out. 2 men on. A 2-ball, 2-strike count to Andrew McCutchen. Little number. It's going to be a tough play. Descalzo throws, and out at first is McCutchen. He's able to move 2 runners up. Derek Lee coming to the plate. He hit a home run his last time up in the 3rd inning. Our man who's mic'd up, Josh Harrison, liked it.
Get out, ball.
Get out of here! Get out of here!
Leave, leave. Hey. Outstanding. I hit that. That's bouncing in the gap. Not even on a warning track.
You got Alex Presley cracking up there on the bench, but a little power comparison between Harrison and Derek Lee. Good RBI chance here for Lee with the tying run in scoring position.
Well, he didn't cut himself short in terms of that swing. It's full throttle. Okay, you want to cash it in somehow or another. Get the ball out of the infield. At least get one out of this. That puts you a point away. It's a big difference.
2 for 2 tonight. 2 runs scored. He has scored both Pirate runs. Like to give somebody else a chance to touch home. This one to right field, and here comes Berkman. Siriaco's going to try it.
Oh yeah,
and he will make it.
You will run on the arm of Lance Berkman every time.
Another run batted in for Derek Lee, his second tonight, and Siriaco makes it a 1-run ball game again at 4-3.
And that's just a scouting report, and everybody knows it's not a real harsh criticism of Lance Berkman. He just doesn't have a strong arm. You will run on that arm. He does a lot of things very well. Throwing isn't one of the real strengths.
And the Cardinals want an appeal. And Siriaco left early. Third base umpire Sam Holbrook calls him out. Clint Hurdle will come out to argue. And that's going to end the inning on a double play. Nick Leyva is beside himself. And Clint Hurdle and Sam Holbrook disagreeing. That's something you don't see very often. Guy being thrown out on an appeal play. We will take a break, and when we come back, we all will look at it together. Run comes off the board. It's 4-2. He comes up with his call here.
Looks like the ball is in the glove and the foot is on the bag. Baseball in the glove.
On the bag.
Look at the foot. Cardinals get the call.
Cardinals get a big break. The run comes off the board. The RBI taken away from Derek Lee, and he's now 2 for 3 instead of 2 for 2 with a run batted in. And it's a 2-run game instead of a 1-run game. So video doesn't lie. And a ground ball over the mound. Charging is Siriaco. And Schumacher is out. 1 gone. Let's listen to Jay Hayes' reaction.
Nah, he ain't leave early.
What?
Whoa! Whoa! Hey, that fool did not leave early. Hey, I watched it too.
Well, we all had a chance to watch it. There's a bouncer to short. Siriaco will handle this off the bat of Yadier Molina. 2 down.
So far, so good for Daniel Moscas.
3 pitches and
I'm
4
wondering,
outs.
I'm wondering what Josh Harrison is going to have to say to the third base umpire right there.
Yeah.
I've seen third baseman after a play like that go out to his position and come right back in the dugout after getting thrown out, arguing to that degree.
Actually, 4 pitches and 4 outs for Moscas. Came in through the 1 pitch in the 5th, got the double play, get out of the inning. Schumacher and Molina. Tap outs to short. Now Descalso, 1-0 count. 1-1.
And as a manager, you go out and argue. You're never going to win that argument, but also seen some managers tossed out in that kind of scenario too. But, on we go.
And playing a team like the Cardinals, runs are precious. And when you have one basically stolen from you there,
against Carpenter in particular,
against a pitcher like Chris Carpenter, I mean, you know, that makes it doubly difficult.
Doman takes another shot, I think.
Not like anything else, Holbrook will watch it on film or video. They don't have film anymore, I heard. But you'll watch it and realize what the situation was. Our crew did a great job capturing that picture. take another look. Yep. There's the catch by Berkman, and you can see the foot clearly on the base by Siriaco, using it to push off of.
Even one more frame when you can't see the baseball anymore.
Oh, that one underneath the glove of Derek Lee. He's been so solid there defensively. That one caught a piece of his glove. And a base hit.
They'll call it a base hit. We've had some hitter-friendly calls on some of these plays tonight. It's an old pitcher talking that sometimes he says, "Hey, come on now, those are plays that should be made."
2 outs, 1 on. Pitch to Carpenter. He came up with the bases loaded earlier in the ballgame. In the second inning, we talked about his home runs. He's got 2, 1 in grand slam against the Cincinnati Reds during the 2009 season, October 1st. And then he hit another home run against Atlanta on the 10th of September last year.
Well, 15 years, a lot of at-bats for Chris.
2-run single in the second inning for Carpenter, and then he grounded out to short in the 4th. Mosca set. 1-1. Down the right side. This one will be watched into the seats by Garrett Jones. 2 strikes on Carpenter. Had a career high, or not a career high, but a season high, 10 strikeouts against the Pirates on the 16th of August. 15th double-digit strikeout game since he's been a Cardinal. That one foul. In the news today, Carpenter is signing a 2-year, $21 million deal, wiping out the club option the Cardinals had for $15 million for next year. They actually saved some money for next year anyway. 36 years of age. It'll take him till he's 38 and possibly his final contract as a player. Strikes out. Moscas getting the job done in the 6th inning. 1 hit, no runs, 1 left. Through 5.5. Cardinals 4, Pirates 2. Told him what he thought, and Sam Holbrook made the gesture to indicate that Clint has been ejected from this ball game. And this is probably what happened, as they probably looked at this in the clubhouse. Someone had looked at it and relayed word to Clint that it was a bad call. I can assume that was the case. And you could actually read Holbrook's lips at one time saying, "Okay, fine. All right." Shrugged his shoulders. And that's certainly something an umpire in a close call does not want to have happen, is somebody to come out and say, "We just saw it on video and you made it the wrong way." But Clint has been ejected now. Jeff Bannister, the bench coach, takes over the managerial duties for the rest of this ball game. A 4-2 Cardinal lead, bottom of the 6th.
They do that a lot in golf from home, don't they? You see a rule infraction, they call in, and
right there with Jeff Bannister is AAA manager Dean Traynor. Do umpires review plays after a game to see if they got the call right? Steve, Jeremy wants to know. He texted in that question.
I have no idea. I really don't. They get ranked and they get reviewed and graded, I guess, but I don't know what I don't know if they sit down and watch ball games. I don't.
You'd think they'd want to know. You know, you'd think they'd get the cut-ups from one of the video guys to look at certain calls. If they've got to be curious, wouldn't you be curious? Just human nature.
Yeah, I would assume that they do. I just don't have any first-hand knowledge of it.
I remember that day, July 26th, early in the morning hours, July 27th in Atlanta. That was one of the things that occurred where the crew, including Jerry Meals, had gone back, looked at the video immediately, and had realized that he had made the wrong call. So he had looked at it right after the game, along with the rest of his umpiring crew. I'm Sure, Sam's going to see the video one way or another.
Well, I would assume on big time plays, you know, like the Galarraga no-hitter, like the 19-inning game. I don't know if they review this kind of thing or not. If I'm an umpire, hey, I got it right. Done.
If you're curious how to score that, it's a fly out to the right fielder for the first out by Derek Lee. Jones takes a strike. And then the put out on the appeal goes 1-5. Pitcher to the third baseman.
So it's still a double play?
Still a double play.
So does it go 9-1-5?
It goes 9 and 1-5.
Not 9-1-5. There's a hesitation. There's a hyphen in there.
I think yes.
Okay.
Pujols can't handle it. Jones hustling for the bag, and he is safe. Ball hits the bag and bounces away. And Domit down to third base. Runners at the corners and nobody out.
Albert, what's happening at first base? Check it out. Ball that Albert usually eats up. He doesn't. And then a low throw gets away from Chris Carpenter, and on we go. All of a sudden,
Pujols is getting charged with 2 errors on that play. He has 3 errors himself tonight. So the first error allowing Jones to reach, the second error allowing Domit to go to third.
big time opportunity for the Pirates.
Tying run on with Ryan Ludwig at the plate. He is 1 for 2. He had a single in the second inning, grounded to short in the fourth. And Ludwig fouls it off. 0-1 to Ryan.
And you look at a guy like Chris Carpenter right now, and what type of frame, what kind of mind frame is he in right now after that ball getting kicked around? He was a part of it. His job is to collect himself as best he can.
Here is the 0-1 pitch. Foul back.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. He's hot right now because he just amped it up to 94 miles an hour, and he doesn't do that much power pitching. But he can reach back when he needs to. And of course, the situation calls for a strikeout attempt here, so get a little extra on that fastball.
Domit is at third base, and Garrett Jones getting his lead from first. Nobody out. The 0-2 coming to Ryan Ludwig from Chris Carpenter. All back. Give you a real quick story on Ludwig, kind of guy he is. The entire team had a school visit today. Faison Primary School. Getting on the bus, we've been there for 90 minutes. Getting on the bus, he said, "Okay, where's the next school? We got another one?" He was ready to go for round 2.
There you go.
Really good guy. Popular in the clubhouse in St. Louis, same in San Diego. Swings and strikes out there. A 1 out. And Josh Harrison will come to the plate.
Just reach out and touch that moon. There's that slider. Way off the plate. Way off the plate. And a big out for Carpenter.
Harrison is 0 for 2. Reached on an error by Albert Pujols in the second inning, then grounded to short in the fourth. Pirates like to get the run back that was taken off the board. Up in the air to right field. Domit looks like he's going to tag. Berkman makes the catch near the line, and Domit will not go. But getting hung up between first and second base is Garrett Jones, and a double play, and the Pirates run themselves out of the inning. Wow, bad decision there, and it cost the Bucks. 4-2 Cardinals after 6.
Berkman really not deep enough. Berkman comes in, makes the catch. They hold at third base, and then for whatever reason, Garrett Jones takes off, and looking at the runner at third base, making sure they've secured him, they tag Garrett Jones out, and all of a sudden that half inning goes up in smoke. So the physical error is by Pujols, but the mental error by the Pirates, and it's a 0 in the bottom of the 5th.
And
yoy.
Yeah. That's a V8 moment. Well, 2 innings in a row. A double play ends it, starting with a fly ball to right field.
You talk about cutting your own legs off.
Jared Hughes is now into pitch, his 4th major league appearance. Hasn't given up a run yet.
Yeah, first 3 have been very, very clean. This big man.
For a call, bouncer to second.
Keep it going.
1 out. Hughes pitches with a lot of energy. Has that intense look out there. Gotta like it. He's having a blast right now pitching in a major league.
The first 3 appearances just covering 3 innings. But a hit, no free passes. You love that for anybody, especially a youngster. All the bright lights and the big stadiums. He looks like he is full of concentration out there. And if he's full of concentration, that's a lot of concentration because he's big.
He's 6'7". 1-0 pitch to Jay. Fouled off, 1-1. Saw him earlier today. I said, "This is fun, isn't it?" You know it.
Yeah. Easy game.
It's what you know, obviously it's what you strive for your whole life as a ball player. And now he's getting to pitch at that level. First time in his life. And really has embraced his role early on. 1-2 to John Jay.
Well, that's what you try to do. You get called up in September. You want to do whatever you can do to make them remember your name. It's different for a player. You know, the manager, the coaches, the organization, they're trying to evaluate people. It is a degree of audition. But if you're a player, hey, I don't care why they bought me up, for whatever reason, what the circumstances were. I'm here. I got a chance to impress. And that's the only way you can look at it. Don't make it any more complicated than that.
Oh, foul ball by John Jay.
Be out of a ball game. You can come into a 16-1 game, but you have an opportunity to make them remember you.
Hughes might not have been first on the minds of the Pirate staff as far as the call-ups were concerned, but the AAA staff in Indianapolis really pushed hard for him. And so the Pirates agreed, and here he is. He's had 3 scoreless outings so far. He's through his first third of an inning of work here tonight. Payoff pitch, and Jay strikes out. Take a look at the road ahead, sponsored by Nissan. Our upcoming telecast on Root Sports tomorrow, noon start. Pirates pregame, quick turnaround, and then out west. Stay up late with us. 9:30 starts Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday 3:30. Pirates will take on the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium. All games right here on Root Sports. Edwin Jackson and Charlie Morton. Pitching matchup for tomorrow's matinee game. Hughes pitching to Albert Pujols. That's the game bat. Chase Darno, number 12, keeps it nearby. You got your BP bats. You got the bats you give out as souvenirs, and then you got your gamer. Two-one. We'll go to the backstop. 3-1 now to Albert.
They have a lot of gamers with the way they crack and split. Well, Mr. Hughes has never faced a man like Mr. Pujols. Well, this is an interesting challenge for him. Interesting experience.
3-1 is bounced foul. Well, he may be wondering who is this 6'7" guy out on the mound, but certainly Hughes knows all about Mr. Pujols.
Yeah. A one-way awareness.
Maybe Hughes can make an impression here. 3-2 pitch on the way. And a ball hit over the mound, and Ciriaco, the nice pick. And he's got him. And a nice, clean 1-2-3 inning in the top of the 7th for Jared Hughes. Pirates trailing by a pair of runs, and we have reached the 7th inning stretch.
It's time for the 7th inning stretch. We invite you now to stand, follow the bouncing Eaton Park Smiley Cookie, and join everyone watching at home on Root Sports as we sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
Pirates looking for some runs against Chris Carpenter in the bottom of the 7th.
Foreman grill and anything, the same kind of items you'd have in your house. Today it's a modern, full service, state-of-the-art kitchen that, the Pirates made this commitment to healthy eating and performance.
Now, what time do you get here on game day to start prepping food, and how late will you have to stay after a game to make sure the players don't leave hungry?
It's basically like an 10 o'clock average, and get out anywhere from 11:30, 12, 1 on that average game.
Now, do you have a theme? Certain weeks you'll have maybe prime rib. How does that work?
Sure. Like we'll go through a rotation. It's a little different, like in the visiting clubhouse. These guys they're 3 in and out. These guys are here for a 9-game homestand, so it has to be 3 meals basically, 3 times a day, right. Different meals. So it is a little bit of a juggling act, and you do have different nationalities and different nutritional requirements and different things like that. So it is a little bit of a, juggling act. And
it's not just here. You got to also make sure that they eat well at home, so they actually place a to-go order, if you will.
Leslie wants some of the, different players need different nutritional needs. Andrew McCutchen, for example, he would be someone that you want to keep his weight up through the long grind of a season. Some guys need to lose weight, some guys need to maintain. So she'll give me little bits and pieces of information. As far as Andrew McCutchen, we even do a to-go bucko bag, which when he gets up the next day, he can have like a breakfast sandwich or something in there that, he starts off with a breakfast, and then when he gets into the ballpark, eat and keep his weight up.
All right, Tony, thanks for the tour, and I'll make sure that if I ever get hungry, I know where to come now, okay?
Sure. Thank you.
Maybe I'll get an open tab. Guys, back to you.
I'm wondering if Danny snuck out one of those bucko bags.
Yeah, something to go.
Smuggled one.
Not a bad idea.
Well, Alex Presley pinch hitting in the 9 spot for the pitcher Hughes.
Another good outing for Jared.
Presley with a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Nobody out. Bottom of the 7th inning. 4-2 Cardinals. And a base hit up the middle.
I was hoping that the Pirates wouldn't get the leadoff man on again, because it's been not a good program, and they've done it 1, 2, 3, now 4 innings. Let's hope this one works out better. Right past the foot of Chris Carpenter. No activity in the Cardinal bullpen. Carpenter has been known to go deep in most of his starts.
Ciriaco 2 out of 3. Thought he scored a run in the 5th, but that was taken off the board.
Jared Hughes, he'll remember his major league debut, but he'll remember pitching against Albert Pujols. Probably that's going to be close to the top of the list too, and retiring Albert.
Got him to bounce out to short. Pitch number 100 coming up for Chris Carpenter. The 0-1 to Ciriaco with Presley aboard. And a ground ball to short for a call. He'll flip on to second, and not nearly in time at first to get the lead runner. Presley is forced out. Siriaco replaces him at first base. 1 out.
The St. Louis Cardinals, in their notes, they never tell you how many pitches the guy has thrown in the previous games and starts, so we have no idea how many he's thrown in a given start.
So Jeff Mitchell, our director, a couple of other unknown gypsies down there. And there's Dave, our audio man. All access tonight, right, Dave? That's it. Dave was first in line in the press room to eat tonight. Nobody dared cut Dave.
Don't cross Dave. Just don't do it. Just don't do it.
And Terry's been roaming around, and Darren Potash is down there keeping Terry company, apparently.
You can't upset Terry. Terry always has a smile on his face.
1 out. Siriaco at first base for Neil Walker. He's 1 for 3. Breaking ball for strike 2. Four out of 7 in the series. Neil made good contact last night in the 5th inning. He had a 3-hit ball game last night. Hit one off the Clemente wall in right field. Got a run around. Yeah, we're looking at you. Keith's trying to pretend we're not looking at him, but he knows.
Keep an eye out for you.
Two balls and 2 strikes to Walker. A lot of folks behind the scenes bring you Pirates baseball on Root Sports. This stuff isn't just voice activated. It takes a lot of people to bring you a live telecast every night.
It takes a lot of people a lot of hours. They get here very, very early. Lots of hours before game time. Be back at it again tomorrow early.
Walker to second base. Schumacher will look on to first and retire Neil there. And Siriaco crawling around, but safe at second. Walker retired 4-3, and Siriaco moves on into scoring position. Andrew McCutchen will come up now. Pretty night here at PNC Park. Just a little bit of a breeze blowing out to left field. 8 shots across the Allegheny. Looking at downtown. Perfect mid-September evening. Weather-wise, not necessarily score-wise.
Andrew a little bit late on that fastball.
You know, Steve, Pirates with only 4 more home games after tonight.
Right, tomorrow afternoon, and then that trio of games to finish out the home season against the Reds. 23, 24, 25 of September. Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
McCutchen drills it deep right center field, and this game is tied up. A 2-run bomb by Andrew McCutchen, his 23rd home run. It's a 4-4 game.
No possibility for mistakes on that one. He hits it to that neighborhood that you were talking about before, between the Trip Total Media sign and the ketchup bottle, up into that section of seats. He did it the other night, a 3-run bomb, 2-bagger, and all of a sudden we're at 4-4.
RBIs 87 and 88 for Andrew McCutchen.
A couple of home runs given up by Chris Carpenter tonight to that neighborhood.
Derek Lee had the last one.
This is like a little deja vu. Weren't we involved in 4-4 business last night?
Yes, sir. Ryan Domet tied it at 4 in the 8th.
Lots of carry.
Double.
That ball almost cleared everything. and not down the right field line. That was right center field. He almost got it into the river.
Breaking ball in for a strike. So that home run gets Jeff Karstens off the hook. No decision for Karstens tonight, who had given up the 4 Cardinal runs.
Pirates have out-hit the Cardinals 10-8.
Estimated distance of Lee's home run, 401 feet. That was back in the 3rd, but McCutchen may have hit this one farther.
Oh, yeah, I don't think there's any doubt.
Oh, that bounced all the way out over the walkway there.
Might have got wet.
1-2 pitch. 2-2 to Derek.
So you look at this Cardinals team coming in on a 5-game win streak, and you know they're not coming in here taking the Pittsburgh Pirates for granted. That just doesn't happen. People might think that, but it doesn't happen. As you said, there's work to be done.
A looper on the infield, and Pujols will throw out Derek Lee. But Andrew McCutchen going deep for a pair. And after 7, it's a brand new ball game, all even at 4.
Hey, you told it. Hey, man, that thing's about 420. Is that farther than 401?
Josh Harrison mic'd up tonight. Said that Pedro Alvarez called that home run off Chris Carpenter. Carpenter takes a seat after 7 innings. 4-4 is the score now. Pirates out hitting the Cardinals 10-8. Andrew McCutchen's 23rd home run.
Chris Carpenter not happy at all about the business that went on in the bottom of the 7th inning. Recorded the last out of the inning over at first base. And he's going to go down and have a little session.
He's going to go down to the conference room and have a meeting with himself. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Meeting's adjourned.
Jose Veras on now in a 4-4 ball game.
They'll face Matt Holliday to start things out in the 8th. Holliday 0 for 3. 0 for 7 in the series. Hit into a double play last night. He's grounded out twice tonight and struck out. Two balls and no strikes to Matt. Here's a 2-0 from Veras. Foul back.
Karstens, Moscas, Hughes, the relievers coming out of the bullpen doing a good job to keep it where it is. And again, I'll go back to the last 2 outs in the 2nd and the last 2 outs in the 5th. It prevented the Cardinals from really breaking things open earlier in this ball game.
2 1s foul down the right side. That evens the count. And 2-2.
Parsons did a good job after they scored the 3 spot in the top of the 2nd, and then Daniel Moscas really cleaned up the top of the 5th after they scored another run and looked like they were in business to do a lot more damage. So we are at 4-4.
Jose Veras stretch. The 2-2 delivery. Up and in. And the count full to the Cardinals left fielder. Veras shaking off Doman. And the payoff pitch to Matt Holliday. Strike 3 called. He got him.
Right there, payoff pitch pays off for Jose Veras. Important first out here in the top of the 8th. Another tie ball game. Tie. 4-4 ball game. Tie, necktie.
That's the 74th strikeout of the season for Jose Veras.
And not all that much down the middle. That was a perfecta picking up the outside corner. Strike zone giving us that look.
Lance Berkman takes strike one. Berkman and Veras have met before. 0-1 fouled back, and Veras getting ahead 0-2. So we go back just a short while ago. Berkman hit the game-winning homer in the 8th inning at Busch Stadium on a throwback night. 1985.
Typical left-hand home run, goes down, picks it up off the ground, delivers it over the fence.
Veras trying to get even here. 0-2 pitch. Popped him up. Here comes Garrett Jones. Had to come in a long way to make the catch. And Berkman is retired. Our social media moderator, Lacey Collins, checks in now.
Tim, when the Pirates signed Jason Grilli, they may not have realized they were also getting not just an arm for the bullpen, but a social media savvy player. As a veteran, he's addressed fans very interactive, tells them when the best time to get autographs, where they can find him. And even after last night's win, his tweet was about Bull Durham. He quoted Crash Davis saying, "When you win 20, that's when you can let the fungus grow on your shoes." Now, Steve Blass, I'm curious if that's something you did when you were playing for the Pirates, because that scares me a little bit, because he did say it's been 5 years and he laughed about it, but I'm a little afraid he might think about doing it.
I won 5 games one year, Lacey, and I had fungus on my shoes. I don't know if you have to win 20.
Schumacher.
But they covered it all in Bull Durham. I'll tell you, Bull Durham could have been a 5-hour, 6-hour movie. There was so much going on in the day, and it was so well done. Perfect casting.
You want a rain out? I'll get you a rain out.
Yeah. What does that make you? Makes you a bunch of lollygaggers. The cast was just absolutely perfect, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. I played in that league, the Carolina League, and Susan Sarandon wasn't there that year.
No, she
wasn't. I looked for her.
Annie Savoy was not there. No. She was not on hand.
No.
All right. Just keep your feet under the desk, by the way.
She worshipped at the shrine of baseball.
2-1, and Schumacher lines it fouling out of play. I still
great
think
movie. Great movie.
You know, one of the we talk about it all night, but Robert Wald, who was the pitching coach, went out and they
candlesticks
described all the problems they had. Well, candlesticks make a nice gift. Let's get 2. Two and 2, the count to Schumacher. 2 out, nobody on.
Kevin Costner did a great job there. I thought he did a great job in For the Love of the Game, too.
Yes.
I thought that was a well-done movie, except for one problem. I don't think a team bus has ever stopped at the girlfriend's apartment and picked her up on the way to the ballpark to take her to the ball game.
And a swing and a miss, and Veras a nice inning. 1-2-3 to the Cardinals, and 2 punch-outs for Jose Veras. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th at PNC Park. Pirates 4, Cardinals 4. Domet, Jones, and Ludwig coming up. Talking about changes here. Arthur Rhodes.
Father Time.
Yeah.
Been around a long time.
Is on.
Got a new second baseman also.
He replaces Chris Carpenter. Nick Punto at second base. Punto bat 9th in the double switch, and Rhodes going into Schumacher's spot at the 6th hole in the order. So Rhodes will face Ryan Domet. Wants to turn around about right-handed against the left-handed reliever.
Arthur Rhodes been around a long time. He's done a lot of good pitching. Carpenter goes 7 innings, giving up 4 runs on 10 hits. He walked a batter and struck out 6. He will not factor in the decision.
The day wasn't a total loss for him, however.
Helped his RBI total.
Helped his RBI total. He signed a 2-year deal. Doman is out 6-3. Carpenter was not happy when he left the ball game, certainly, after giving up the home run to Andrew McCutchen. Josh Harrison mic'd up at the scouting report.
He gets frustrated out there. Carpenter, he gets mad. Hey, his cutter's cutting more than it was last time.
Yeah, I know it was. I know it is, yeah.
My first at bat, I fouled one off, and it had a little depth to it. I was like, ooh.
Josh Harrison should learn something from the fact that Mr. Carpenter has a temper. It's called a game face, a competitive face. And talking about his cutter that not only went sideways but had a little downward movement on it.
Carpenter was a starter on the 16th of August when he struck out a season-high 10. Now he is out of the ball game. Rhodes came into that game as well and faced Garrett Jones right at the very end.
Oh.
Took 11 innings, but it was worth it for a splashdown home run.
That's an impressive finish.
Jones was particularly pleased because he said that throughout his career, Rhodes had been cutting him up, but he finally got to the veteran lefty. Bounces this one to the right side, and Punto will throw him out. 2 gone for the Bucs in the 8th. Ryan Ludwig back up.
And that's it for Arthur Rhodes.
Tony La Russa going out to the bullpen. Does not want Rhodes to face Ludwig here. A pitching change at PNC Park in a 4-4 ball game. First the pitching matchup in that one. And here is the hammer, Joel Hanrahan, pitching at the top of the 9th of a 4-4 ball game. Facing the catcher Yadier Molina and delivering strike 1.
He got the save last night, but it wasn't easy.
Nope, it was
a couple of hits,
white knuckle time.
2 hits, a walk, and a wild pitch, and he was able to survive that. So you save a bunch of games. They're not all going to be 1, 2, 3, or 1 pitch or 1 out. You have to grind them out, and he did that last night.
37 out of 40 for Hanrahan. 1 and 2 to Molina. Took a little off that at 94. Typically, you're going to see him sit at 97 consistently on the radar gun. Two balls and 2 strikes. Now, Hanrahan, you look at the beard and you say, oh, it's kind of growing out. Well, he hasn't cut his hair or shaved his beard since last January, when Pedro Alvarez and his new wife Kelly were married at the wedding. Right after that, he started growing all that stuff. Molina is out, 1 gone.
He's never shaved since then?
Not the chin or the hair on the head.
Oh, okay. The rest, he's done some trim work.
Yeah, a little maintenance here and there, I suppose. Pedro not in the lineup tonight. Scalzo takes outside for a ball. And one thing defensively, Pedro Siriaco's been busy. And he has held his own defensively for certain tonight.
One play he could have made, and it would have been an above average play, the ball that Albert hit. But other than that, he's been busy and good.
Scalzo with a pair of hits. He's also been walked intentionally. 2 balls and a strike to the Cardinal third baseman. Nick Punto is on deck. 1 out, top of the 9th. Pirates out hitting the Cardinals 10-8. Strike 2.
No contest there.
Hanrahan, given the closer's job full time during spring training, was competing with Evan Meek for it. And that was definitely the right thing to do, to let him go into the season, let him go into spring training, the bulk of it, knowing what his role was going to be to help him prepare. And what a first half of the season he had, earning All-Star accolades. Didn't blow a save until after the All-Star break. In fact, his first save opportunity after the All-Star break was in Houston, and that was his first blown save of the year. But still, to convert 37 out of 40 is
terrific.
Something special.
You're not going to do a Brad Lidge very often. Was it 48 out of 48 2 years ago?
Lights out. So the 3-2 on the way, and Descalso lines it to right. A 1-out single. Fans, now is the best time to reserve your season tickets for the 2012 season. Just put down a $100 deposit and enjoy all of the off-season perks, including exclusive events with Pirates players and more. Plus, guarantee your seats to all of the biggest games next season. To lock in your 2012 season tickets, call 1-800-BUY-BUCKS or visit Pirates.com.
Tyler Green pinch running for Descalso, and we'll see if he wants to take off. Already got a decent lead. Big item in a tie ball game in the 9th.
Well, the Cardinals don't run a lot to second base, but what they do well is run from first to third. On a base hit, they lead the National League in going first to third.
Well, Tony will put a lot of runners in motion too, and that helps to flesh out that number. So if you have good hit and run people, make contact, you got a guy in motion, you find a hole, you get that base hit, and you're there, first and third. Rack up another number.
Coming into the game tonight, 96 times, first to third. Dodgers next at 87 times. And part of the reason they're sending the runners, trying to stay out of the double plays, and this one is hit to the gap, and that is going to roll. And this game is tied no longer as Green rounds third and scores. So he not only goes first to third, he goes first to home. And it's now 5-4 St. Louis as Nick Punto drives in the go-ahead run.
Finds the perfect gap, slicing the ball to left center field. And you go back to that previous at bat for Descalso, and he worked Joel to a full count situation, and at that point you're looking for a fastball, and this one, it just looked bad from the time it left the bat from the Pirates' standpoint.
Rafael for call back to the top of the order. And you know, the game might have played out differently, but you go back to the 5th and that run that was taken off the board on the call that was missed on the appeal by third base umpire Sam Holbrook. Siriaco had scored, and after the Pirates presumably had a chance to see it on video, Clint Hurdle went out after the inning and got himself tossed from this ball game, and perhaps rightly so. In all honesty, he had to let the third base umpire know that he made a mistake. Yeah, and it cost the Pirates a key run in this game.
And you had an idea it was going to either happen immediately or after he saw the video, because it's that kind of play that will set a manager off most of the time.
And if you joined us late, here's the play we're talking about. It was in the 5th inning. Derek Lee flies to right field. Siriaco tags from third. Now watch.
The glove and the foot is on the bag.
The catch is made and the foot's on the bag right there. The appeal was made. Carpenter throwing over to Descalso, and Sam Holbrook bought it and called him out. That cost the Bucks a run and cost Derek Lee an RBI. Now Hanrahan on the hook here. Down a run as he has given one up in the 9th. And after the next half inning had played out, that is when Clint Hurdle went out from the third base dugout to Sam Holbrook. And it took about a nanosecond before Holbrook threw him out. Maybe something between a nanosecond and a millisecond, somewhere in there.
Didn't take long.
No. I think he knew he was going to throw him out when he saw him come out of the dugout. Ground ball is short, and Siriaco can't make the play, and everybody's safe.
I don't know if he looked up or not with the runner involved going from second to third. He takes off, makes a commitment. No, he wasn't looking at the runner. Just well, see what more we can see. He was looking at the ball all the way and just flat missed it.
Pedro Siriaco charged with an error. One out for call at first. Jay at the plate. Punto at third base. Pirates trying to keep Punto right where he is and keep it a one-run game. There's a swing.
Jose Oquendo will look into the Cardinal dugout just in case. Thinking about doing something with the guy who handles the bat pretty well at home plate and a runner on third.
Jay had an RBI double in the fifth inning. Takes inside for ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And I don't know how it breaks down, but there are managers who will like to use the squeeze play every once in a while. And then there's some managers that really never use it very much at all, hardly ever. And I'm not sure where Tony La Russa falls in that.
And this one is off the glove of Siriaco. He knocked it down. They can't get the force. But the Cardinals also don't get a run. That'll be scored a base hit. John Jay with his second hit of the night. He's 2 for 5.
Siriaco continues to be busy at shortstop, but not working out here in the 9th inning. Went way up, got a piece of it.
And now the bases are loaded for Albert Pujols.
Heat goes on. This has not been a clinic in fundamental baseball tonight.
Pujols has hit 12 home runs with the bases loaded over the course of his career.
And he is not a happy baseball player right now. He's been charged with 3 errors tonight.
In case you missed it around baseball, brought to you by Subway. Johnny Damon, 9th player in big league history with 200 home runs and 400 stolen bases. Back into a side session for the Red Sox. He'll start Thursday or Friday against Tampa Bay. Scott Rowan hasn't ruled out a return this season. He's been out since July 22nd. Left shoulder surgery. And the Marlins release outfielder Mike Cameron. Now, he's been hurt. He had a hamstring issue, but conduct detrimental to the team.
And Mike has said he'll seek a second opinion.
I don't have the history on that story, but that can't be a good thing, obviously. Pitch inside to Pujols.
Dangerous business right here.
2-0 to Albert.
And if he's crowding him by intent, that's a very good start to the at-bat. However, you have the bases loaded. Now you're behind 2-0. And I don't know how much more you can do to try to crowd him without taking the chance on missing again. But the Pirates have needed to crowd more batters.
Up in the air to right field. Punto tagging at third. And he will try to score as the throw comes back on the infield.
Will the Pirates appeal?
Why not? May as well. 2-run lead now for St. Louis.
Yep, and you kind of I was thinking along with that, what do you got to lose by throwing the ball to home plate? You're not going to get him. Punto is going to score, but you don't really have anything to lose. Just air it out. Maybe he'll trip, fall. Maybe he'll decide he has to slide and slide around.
And a rare sight at PNC Park. Joel Hanrahan leaving a ball game before an inning is over. 2 outs, top of the 9th. 2 runs are in. And the Cardinals have taken a lead, 6-4. Runs here at the top of the 9th inning.
We have a couple pitchers tonight who left the game not happy. Chris Carpenter and Joel Hanrahan.
Josh Harrison has been mic'd up for us tonight.
I almost want to appeal that just to appeal. You know what I mean?
See if he'll give us a makeup call.
It was close.
We're at second or third?
Third. Like before.
Can you still do it?
I don't know. Before he took off, though, I was watching him before he took off. He bent down. And a lot of times they say umpires, if they see your first movement down, even if you're still on the bag, they think you went. But
Jay with plenty to say, and we appreciate that tonight.
Mic'd up.
He thought it was close, and I think he was thinking along the same lines we were. Appeal it just to appeal it. Here's Corey Patterson, the pinch hitter, facing the new pitcher, Chris LaRue. Have to wait just a little longer for the pitch. Patterson came over from the Toronto Blue Jays along with Octavio Dotel and Mark Zubchinski, and Patterson lines one right at Garrett Jones for the 3rd out. So LaRue, 1 pitch, 1 out, but damage done. 2 runs on 3 hits, and the Pirates will bat in the bottom of the 9th. Let's take a look, just out of curiosity. Punto tagging. Jones makes the catch. And then he takes off. See,
looks okay.
Yeah, he was talking about, bending a little bit. Neil Walker said, well, it's hard not to because you have to position yourself to get ready to take off.
Yeah, you want to get out of the box.
Jason Mott, who has been handling the closing duties for Tony La Russa recently, will come on to pitch in the bottom of the 9th inning of a 6-4 St. Louis lead.
We talked about the similarities to last night. Well, the final last night was 6-4, but it was on the Pirates side.
Saw some changes. Ryan Theriot goes in at second base. Nick Punto moves from second base over to third base. And that is the youngster Adrian Chambers, who is a real speedster, and Corey Patterson remains in the game. He'll play right field. Harrison takes a strike.
Pitcher right, second, left, and third.
Adrian Chambers came in to pinch run in the game last night, and he represented the tying run at third base before Hanrahan locked down the save. Pirates need 2 to extend this ball game, 3 to win it here in the 9th.
Mr. Mott comes in with his 97-mile-an-hour fastball. There were a couple runs for the Cardinals in the top of the 9th, 1 earned and 1 unearned.
Harrison fouls it off, a ball and 2 strikes. 96 on the gun for the converted catcher, Jason Mott. 2 years ago, Mott was the guy they were looking to be the surprise, emerging out of spring training as the closer. And in his first couple of outings, did all right, and then the roof started to fall in.
Enter Salas.
And Tony La Russa got him out of there. Ryan Franklin was still the guy at the time. And then Salas this year for a time, but Mott has supplanted him in recent weeks as the closer.
He must have been tough to run on as a catcher with that arm.
Yeah. Throw a 96-mile-an-hour fastball down to second base.
Yeah, you're going to have the pitcher duck.
Harrison hooks one into center field, and that ball will drop for a hit. Well, Harrison thought about heading for second base, but the pitcher Mott alertly went to cover the bag as everybody was out attending to the ball in short center field.
We hit that one into quadruple coverage.
We've seen him take second base on a play like this before with nobody covering.
No need to risk anything when you're 2 runs down. Maybe 1 run down. I don't think you'd even think about it then. Just too risky. Everybody out there not trying to get into second base in case Harrison has any thoughts about that.
Pedro Alvarez pinch hitting with nobody out and Harrison aboard. Pedro representing the tying run. 0 for 6 as a pinch hitter. Trying to turn that around tonight. Swings at the first pitch. Fastball fouled it back.
It's tough to come in cold when you're facing 96, 97 mile an hour fastballs. Mott has given up just 1 home run, but this makes all the sense in the world. 1 swing of the bat can get you even again.
One and 1 to Pedro. Now 1 and 2. Mott gets ahead on the count against Alvarez. Pedro's last home run came on the 30th of July in Philadelphia against the Phillies. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Alvarez. Siriaco on deck.
2 ticks away from 100 on that fastball. 98. If he pulls a string now, Pedro's in trouble because you got to be geared up for that kind of heat.
And right up the middle for a base hit. His first pinch hit of the season. And the Pirates now with a tying run aboard and the winning run coming to the plate in Pedro Siriaco. Nobody out in the bottom of the 9th. And Mott has given up back-to-back hits. Josh Harrison got it started. He talked about his hit. He's mic'd up tonight.
I ain't had no 2-run bomb. Ain't nobody on.
That's the land right. You ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, you heard him say, I ain't going nowhere.
You can't hit a 2-run homer with nobody on, too, is what he said.
So everybody thinking bunt here. Cardinals pinching in.
Siriaco at the plate with Walker on deck. 2 on, nobody out. Pujols way in at first base. And on the grass at third, Punto. Ball 1 to Pedro Siriaco.
And that time for Cal moving over to second base and Punto in at short. Nothing happening, or nobody covering most of that left side of the infield. Pitch missed.
And the bunt will roll foul.
And that's the contour of this infield with the line over close to the grass in fair territory. So if it gets off the grass, chances are it's going to get across that line. That's just the way they cut it. You see the line. You see a lot of dirt on the left side. This ball is going to get off the grass. And here it goes.
One count to Siriaco, the Pirates shortstop tonight. Two and 1.
Now this is absolutely critical that Siriaco forces him to throw him a strike. You get him in a 3-1 count, and you got him in a bad way, and you're 1 pitch away from loading the bases with nobody out. Mott has shown good control in his work this year.
Mont will turn and look at Josh Harrison. Pirates hoping to make Mont feel a little bit like Joel Hanrahan felt, disappointed. And this one's bunted foul. So Siriaco has not been able to get the bunt down. 2 strikes on him. Jeff Bannister, the acting manager. Clint Hurdle tossed from this game in the 6th.
In that particular play, Mott doing the correct thing. You need to be aggressive after you release the ball. If you can let your manager and third baseman know that you're going to be over there to make a play, that lets the third baseman anchor, and there are a lot of times you can cut down that runner at second base, but you've got to really convince everybody you're capable of making that kind of play.
Trying to bunt with 2 strikes, gets it down. Molina goes to third. Oh my goodness! Holbrook's done it again at third base. Harrison was safe, and he was called out. And Sam Holbrook, who already took a run off the board for the Pirates in a bad call earlier, erases the lead runner. And Jeff Bannister can't believe it. And tell you what, Holbrook's not going to like to see the video, I don't believe, of this game when it's all over. Unless we see something here we didn't see at the beginning of this play. Get him or not?
It's the out call.
Well, that's really close. I don't know.
I can't tell.
Closer than I thought it was from up here at the first look, but man, oh man. Hard to beat 10 guys a night. So 1 out now. Neil Walker swings and hits this one on the ground, and this might do it. Double play ends the game, and the Cardinals win this one by a 6-4 score. And certainly some strange goings on here tonight at PNC Park. Josh Harrison did what he could tonight in the 9th inning with a leadoff single, but he was erased at third on a very, very close force out. Well, the Cardinals even this series now at a game apiece.
Wow, strange ball game. Not a classically played baseball game, and the Cardinals get this one in their pocket.